welcome, welcome. Please enjoy yourself. Gosh, I miss you guys. Welcome to The Tonight Show, everybody. You guys, we're so excited to be back. My heart is racing so fast, I feel like I took pills from a Russian figure skater. I really do. That's right, the Beijing Olympics are officially over, but there's still a moment that everyone's talking about. During a race on Saturday, in especially cold temperatures, a skier from Finland suffered a, well, just listen.
A cross-country skier from Finland experienced frozen penis while competing.
What? He used it to his advantage, though. For two of the turns, he didn't even use the ski pole.
Really?
Yeah, it's very interesting to watch. People could tell something was wrong when he was doing a handstand under the hand dryers in the men's room. You go, oh my, thank God he's an Olympian, because I wouldn't have the hand strength. I feel for the guy, though. He's trained for years, and now that's what comes up when you Google him. You know what I'm saying? He went back to the locker room, took off his uniform, and heard, all right, here we go. Oh! Clean that up. That's right. The Beijing Olympics are over, and the 2026 games are in Italy. Yeah. That'll be fun. That'll probably be fun. When you win a gold there, they just kind of palm the medal during a handshake. They go, here, this is for you. A little something. Come here, a little something for you. Well, guys, the big story right now is that the U.S. is all but certain Russia is going to invade Ukraine. As we speak, Putin is flipping a coin like, heads I invade, tails I invade shirtless. Putin's about as undecided as when a server asks if you want a side salad or fries. You go, I think we know what I'm going to get. To avoid war, French President Emmanuel Macron is trying to arrange a sit-down with Biden and Putin. Yep, leave it to France to settle a problem with the three-way. Ukrainian troops have been standing out there for months waiting for the invasion. Soldiers are like, we're freezing out here. And then the skier from Finland's like, you don't know what freezing is. Let's just be honest. You have no idea. Meanwhile, in other news, former President Trump just launched his new social media app, Truth Social. And it crashed shortly after launching. I mean, I think it crashed. I'm not sure. I read it on the Truth Social app. Some business news. I saw that Family Dollar had to shut down hundreds of stores due to a rat infestation at one of its warehouses. It's bad. The rats have already caused dollars in damages. And finally, a man in Florida was arrested for a DUI and is making headlines for telling officers that he was high and happy when they pulled him over. And this is real. Can we see a photo of him? He looks like a guy who lives on the border between Russia and Ukraine. Can we see him again? Yeah. They found out the man's identity. He's the Olympic skier from Finland.
Really?
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Happy Tuesday. With a W. Yeah, Tuesday, because it's Tuesday, 2/22/22. Yeah, this only happens once every 100 years. President Biden was like, I didn't care then, I didn't care now. Speaking of the president, Biden gave a speech at the White House and said that Russia's invasion of Ukraine has officially begun. Biden didn't mean to say that, but Putin invaded his teleprompter, too. Yeah. Biden said, we will not put up with Russian aggression, especially on such an important national holiday, Tuesday. It's too... Biden also used his speech to announce a bunch of new sanctions against Russia. Yeah, nothing stops a dictator in his tracks like raising his ATM fees. Yeah, of course. Russians are like, we get 2 hours of sunlight and eat potatoes every meal. What are you going to take away? What are you going to take away from us? Well, this is going viral. A journalist in Ukraine was reporting the news on the Russia crisis in 6 different languages. and nailed it. Check this out.
There's been a war with Russian-backed forces.
Würde sich schon ein gewisses Sinn und der Krieg gewinnt.
Y mañana aquí en Kiev con el presidente
Moscovo brandiu un anuncio de retirada. La guerre semble probable, c'est aussi simple que cela.
und ein Vorwand für Russland in die Ukraine einzumarschieren.
He also knows 6 different ways to say, I'm ready to leave Ukraine now. Okay, we can make this a Zoom. Yeah, that's all good. Some news here in the U.S. A woman running for Congress in Oklahoma has apologized after she mixed wine and sleep medication, yelled at a bunch of 12 and 13-year-old girls at a sleepover, and then threw up in one of their shoes. The kids at the sleepover were torn. They didn't know whether to help her or film it for TikTok. They were like, this is too good. Yeah, well, after 25 years, PBS just aired the final episode of Arthur. I know, and it showed all the characters as adults. Can we see what Arthur looks like? This is real, all grown up. Mm. Can we see that again? This is, Apparently he grew up to be your weed dealer. Finally, guys, this is kind of odd, but a new study found that Viagra could be a life-changing drug for dogs. It's pretty wild that it was inspired Viagra to come up with some new slogans. Here, check some of these out. First up, there's Viagra, the dog days are over, but the dog nights are just beginning. Next up, there's Viagra. If you have an erection lasting longer than 4 dog years, call a doctor. And finally, there's Viagra, knick-knack, paddywhack, give your dog a bone. Well, guys, Russia's invasion of Ukraine continued today, and in a controversial new interview, former President Trump said Vladimir Putin is very savvy and called his strategy genius. Keep in mind, Trump also used the words savvy and genius to describe McDonald's dollar menu. So, honestly, I'm not sure you want to be called the genius by the guy who clogged the White House toilet with classified documents. Just flush it. Well, everyone's been talking about this. Buckingham Palace announced that Queen Elizabeth has COVID and is dealing with mild symptoms. When asked how she was feeling, the Queen said, well, we're not talking about Prince Andrew, so a lot better. So far, the Queen said the worst symptom is Prince Charles coming in every 4 seconds to see how she's doing. You doing okay, Mom? Okay. I don't think you need that booster, Mom. I think you can really tough your way through this one. Some entertainment news this year. The Oscars are planning to pre-record some awards before the ceremony and air them during the live broadcast. Even more insulting, before the awards are presented, the announcer will say, and now the categories nobody cares about. You go, hey. If they really want to shorten the broadcast, maybe just skip the part where someone explains what an actor is. An actor acts. Some business news. I read that Peloton had a secret initiative called Project Tin Man, where they hid rust on bikes that were sent out to customers. And somehow this has been the best news about Peloton all year. It's actually good news because it means Big didn't die of a heart attack. He died of tetanus. Yeah, I was worried. I was like, he looked healthy. Now I get it. Hey, I heard that IHOP just launched its first plant-based sandwich at one location in New York City. Yeah, it's for all the people who sit down at breakfast like, do I want the fudge pancakes or the mung bean sandwich? Can't be fun eating a vegan sandwich while the person across from you sprays whipped cream on his breakfast. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of plant-based food, Kraft Heinz just announced that it wants to make plant-based Oscar Mayer hot dogs. Oscar Mayer said they care about the environment. Then they kept driving across the country in a giant hot dog that gets 3 miles a gallon. Well, this is going viral. A news reporter in Ohio was out in the field reporting when he was surprised by someone he knows pretty well. Take a look at this.
Is it because of This is my mom. Hold on. I'm trying to work right now. You over there calling my phone. This is D'Angelo. You can say hi. And don't be holding up traffic because you got cars behind you.
Let's stop that. Then his mom threw it in reverse and was like, I got some breaking news, Mommy loves you! And finally, parking here in New York City can be hard, but I think this guy found a new way to do it. Look at this. Look at this photo. Look at that photo. Oh my God. You know, a third car drove by like, I bet I could squeeze in between. It'll be even weirder in 9 months when the Toyota gives birth to a smart car. Well, guys, the news is tough out there. As you know, Russia is now at war with Ukraine. It is a crazy world we're living in. In fact, today, President Biden asked the CDC to find a new variant just to lighten the mood. Omicron 66? Does that sound cool? A fun one? Yep, Russian President Vladimir Putin has launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. I think Putin has lost his mind. I mean, even Kim Jong-un was like, you're not actually supposed to do it. You know, you dress up, you threaten, you... Yeah, World War III, a global pandemic, the Queen has COVID, rising inflation. Billy Joel's already working on a remix of We Didn't Start the Fire. I mean, he's got 2 good verses right there, right? That's right, it was just reported that Russia took over Chernobyl. Gotta be a weird day at the Kremlin. They're like, where'd to go, Vlad? You now own Chernobyl. I'm sorry, what are we doing again? What is the goal? What's the end game? What do we want? Well, today, President Biden held a press conference where he announced major new sanctions against Russia, saying that every asset they have in America will be frozen. Trump heard and was like, oh no, they're gonna freeze me. I'm gonna be frozen. I'm the new Han Solo. Chewie. This KFC is Chewy. Get me a new bucket. Bucket me! As a result of the sanctions, the Russian stock market already fell over 30%. When they heard, Peloton was like, nah, it could have been worse. In Russia, Peloton rides you. Do you guys see this? Putin is rationalizing the invasion of Ukraine by claiming that Russia is fighting a resurgence of Nazism. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian president is Jewish. If he's a Nazi, he's the first Nazi to ever get bar mitzvahed. I mean, it's historical, isn't it? I saw that hard Mountain Dew hit shelves for the first time this week. Oh. That's right. That is Mountain Dew mixed with alcohol. And they're testing out some slogans to get the word out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, take a look. First up, there's Hard Mountain Dew. How did I end up in a Denny's 3 states away? Next up, there's Hard Mountain Dew. Even the kids on Euphoria won't touch this. And finally, there's Hard Mountain Dew, Florida in a can. Wow. That's what it is. You gotta get the word out. Well, hey, guys, here's some really sad news. I read that in the past few days, Elon Musk's net worth dropped below $200 billion. Oh. That's right, Elon Musk is no longer worth over $200 billion. Now when he flies to space, he has to connect in Cleveland. Sad. It's so... Elon was shocked he lost billions and then went back to work in his latest project, teaching Teslas how to mambo. Finally, a man in New York was struggling to breathe, and doctors found a tooth growing in his nose. It's insane. The guy gets his COVID test with a toothbrush. It is unbelievable. Asked how that happened. The guy said, look, I took 1 sip of Hard Mountain Dew. Well, guys, today, some historic news. President Biden announced that Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson is his nominee for the Supreme Court. Yeah, Judge Jackson actually has supporters in both parties. Yeah, the announcement was good. It was good for Biden's approval rating, so he's going to nominate her again on Monday. During his speech, Biden said, for too long, our courts haven't looked like America, which means his next nominee will be a guy in a trucker hat chugging a Hard Mountain Dew. But this is interesting. Judge Jackson actually clerked for Justice Breyer, whose seat that she's nominated to fill. Biden was like, I can relate. I interned for FDR. Meanwhile, all eyes are still on the Ukraine. Today, Pope Francis went in person to the Russian embassy in Rome to criticize the invasion. You could tell the Pope was mad because there was white smoke billowing from his ears. Well, listen to this. I heard that Russian oligarchs are trying to get around sanctions by purchasing cryptocurrency. That's right. The oligarchs are trying to hide their money in crypto, while the rest are frantically calling Jason Bateman and asking how to launder it. Well, this is going viral. On an episode of The Price is Right, someone noticed that a contestant had a little trouble leaving the stage. Follow the woman in the red shirt.
80, and there's the 20. Nice beating you, Carrie. Good luck to you. Darren, come on over here. It's Mr. Plinko himself. What's going on? Won $3,000 on Plinko. Give it a spin. Good luck to you. Need $1. You want to say hi?
Yes, I'd like to say hi to Melissa, Camilo, and Eric in Hawaii. Yeah, my family, my mom, my daughter, Kylie.
95, which normally a winner, but you need a nickel right now to tie it up.
Unbelievable, my God. A second later, the announcer was like, Carrie Johnson, come off the stage, damn it! Eventually, she just gave up and just started modeling the new cars. In other news, this spring break, Miami Beach has decided to prohibit the sale and consumption of alcohol past 2 a.m. Oh. And this is a big deal for Miami. I mean, this is for most people, it's that's a party destination. I'm sorry. Oh, can I help you? No? Okay, sir. Can we help you? No, you're fine. Okay, sure. Whoa. Okay. Well, let's get back to the monologue here. Okay. Nope. Sorry, that is not, nope, that down there is not a stairs or no, not at all. Thank you. You can go. Thank you. She'll find her way. Some business news. I saw that. That way, you can just go out that way, please. No, what, no, why would you go that way? That way. That way. Yeah, point there, yeah. Thank you. Good luck. There she is, everybody. Finally. The handle, the door handle, the door handle. Push, 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 push the door. Someone help her, someone push her out of here, please. Please get this woman out of the building somehow. Please get, oh my, yes, thank you, she's there. Oh my God, wow, holy mackerel.
That's so chuggy.
Yeah. Some business news. I saw that Honda is investigating claims of unexpected braking in nearly 2 million of its vehicles. When they heard Kia was like, and that's why our cars don't have brakes. Basically, every Honda has looked like a kid taking a driver's test. Is she okay? She's got, oh, she's, no, she's not left the hallway. She's just there. Oh, my God. And finally, authorities in Pennsylvania arrested a man for drunk driving, but it's not your typical case. Watch this.
Police say an Amish man faces drunk driving charges after reportedly operating a horse and buggy in a reckless manner. Police say they started following the horse and buggy and saw it go around a turn and speed up as Byler locked the brakes and slid the wheels, which caused sparks.
The police tracked him down after a thrilling 2-mile-an-hour chase. It's tough because he wasn't the one drinking, it was the horse.